Welcome back, fellow goons. This is GGF, Gundam Gooners Federation, bringing you guys some of our testing videos for trying out the stuff for GD03. So Eric and I are trying out a couple of the lists we posted here. This one is going to be me playing our purple-white IBO list, where we're focusing on turboing up to Lupis, so we can try and just deal a lot of damage to their board all at once. While still essentially playing purple-white. If I remember correctly, he is on our red-white GFred Justice variant. Yep, that's what he's on. We both got a pretty solid opening. I opened into Overflowing Affection and Gray's Custom, and then started establishing some blockers here, getting our IBO type stuff set up. So what I'll say is that as far as the IBO white pile is concerned, it kind of does what we wanted it to do. Like, we definitely get there, and we have enough defense to actually get us to the late game. But our problem here is, like, that's the only thing our deck kind of really does here. And so I'm noticing issues where the deck just doesn't have a way to close out a game, and it just kind of eventually falls flat on itself because it doesn't have the ability to go plus very much. So your opponent can still just outgrind you and end up just walling you out of the game in the late game. And then also, like, just our top decks aren't very good. So, like, we're going to have issues where if your opponent is able to stabilize, we're not going to be able to, like, maintain a board. Especially, like I said, if they're going to able to just grind you out. Like, I'm still at 6 shields and my EX base here, and I'm almost out of resources. I'm, at this point, relying on drawing into... if I remember right, I think I am relying on drawing our Lupis here, and even then, Lupis isn't going to actually, like, completely clear the board. I'm starting to realize it's a bit underwhelming. And it's going to need something to go along with it. There we go. We were able to get Lupis on board, start cleaning up the board, able to get rid of the token the Justice made. I will say red-white is a bit harder to just deal with because it puts up a lot of decent bodies, and that 2 damage isn't enough to take care of one dude most of the time, even when you combine it with Mikazuki, so it's awkward. I will say, however, the interaction with Awakened Power and Ryusei Gray's Custom is actually fantastic. I like that as like a bread and butter type play. We just don't have a whole lot of anything that we're able to do here to really put on a lot of extra pressure. We talked about maybe doing like a full suite of the IBO stuff, including like 4th form and such, just so we have good targets and decent attackers, and also, like I said earlier, how we can maybe close out games better with it. There's also a variant we talked about doing with GFred, just as its only other outside of its color combination, and just doing purple-red. They both kind of do the same thing, and they both kind of work together, and then we just max out stuff like the Free Den base and such. Free Den's actually fantastic. I actually really like that card a lot. And then, yeah, it just kind of snowballed to the point where red-white was able to grind us out. He didn't even get a chance to play much of GFred, I think, in this game. I noticed that was kind of the pattern with a lot of our test games of that deck. GFred didn't really show up until I think I played it against him. But yeah, that was our match with that.